So let's take a look at some news stories. So you can now buy a hardware device that has hardware embedded post-quantum cryptography, so you can be compliant with the latest standards, making your cryptography, resistant in case people actually get a quantum computer working, which doesn't exist now, but people are afraid it may exist in 1 or 2 decades. So I wonder how many people actually want to do this already. But to be fair, NIST did recently approve some post-quantum algorithms, so I suppose they have reasonable grounds to believe that the post-quantum algorithms are defined well enough that they can sell this thing and they won't have to immediately revise it or replace it. Anyway, I just don't know how many people would do that, but maybe they will. So the Biden administration passed a law requiring cosmetics containing talc to test for asbestos, which is really important because I suppose everybody knows by now asbestos causes lung cancer, even in small amounts, which is why everybody spent the last several decades freaking out and taking the asbestos out of their walls. And this, by the way, is one of the things people are mad at Trump about. When he tore down the east wing of the White House, he didn't bother to do anything about the asbestos that was probably in there or any of the other safety procedures that should have been done. He just went in and bulldozed it right away. Anyway, the Trump administration was withdrawing that proposal. So cosmetics will not have to check to see if there's asbestos in their talc-containing products. And this seems like a really bad idea. But like essentially everything they've done around medicine or health, everything the Trump administration does is just to help corporations make more money, even if they have to endanger the health of people to get it. That's been the way Republicans have been all my life. Drill for oil in the ocean. It doesn't matter if you cause oil slicks and all that. They're all about helping rich people get richer. That's their number one agenda. And so CISA has warned that certain high-value people are having their Signals and WhatsApp accounts compromised. And these are highly targeted attacks for a small number of high-value people with a lot of followers, people that are important in some way, like, I suppose, journalists or politicians. And so it's interesting to see how they did it. The way the Russia-aligned threat actors did, I use Signal, and if you use Signal, it appears on your phone, you get these messages, but you can also mirror it to a computer. And what they do is they social engineer someone into scanning a QR code, and what they're doing is approving another mirror. So they just mirror the signals to their computer. So they get a copy of them, obviously. That's a pretty clever trick and bypasses all the encryption that Signal has and everything else. Android spyware campaigns use fake apps like Signal and TikTok to trick people into installing a malicious app, which is something we're doing in the Hacking Malware Devices class. It's very easy to take Android apps and add malicious code to them. We do it. And so you could easily take a real Signal and add some malicious code to it, and that's probably what they've done here. And then there's an Android spyware campaign that has people using Telegram channels and lookalike phishing pages, so they just trick you into going to pages to install the fake apps again. And this one here had 2 security flaws in iOS and WhatsApp to target some users, so that's interesting. Anyway, and here's another one that targeted a Samsung security flaw to deliver Android spyware. Anyway, it's worth knowing. And like I said, this is why over the last few years I've learned when students come to me, I get this frequently. People come to me and tell me they've been hacked and they keep getting hacked over and over and it's ruining their life. And I no longer doubt this. It's absolutely happening. Now, there are lots of ways to do it. These are complicated attacks used against high-value people, but you can also just buy spyware, commercial spyware, and put it on somebody's phone and then know everything they're doing. And it will hide, and they sell this stuff for parents to monitor their kids, but it's often used by people to monitor their romantic partner to see if they're cheating on them and things like that. Even though that's illegal, it happens all the time. So it is actually pretty easy for somebody to infect your phone, and after they've infected your phone, they pretty much own your whole life. They know everything you're doing, they can get in all your accounts and everything else, and it's really hard to recover from that position. All right, so this one's pretty good too, pretty interesting. Criminals stole $200 million and more by impersonating bank support teams. So they call you and claim to be the bank security agency, and then convince you to hand over your credentials. They change the online password and lock you out. So they'll typically impersonate bank staff or customer support personnel and manipulate you into providing login credentials, including multi-factor authentication credentials. This is just a question of social engineering. Now, you would think nobody would be stupid enough to hand over somebody else's their banking credentials, but that's just a challenge for the ingenuity of the criminals to come up with a story that persuades you to do that thing, and it's much easier than you would think. You learn how to target human emotions and the desire to help people and the fear of authority, and you create an emergency situation where they don't think about the usual considerations and so on. There are a lot of techniques, and they're well established. So they're getting another set of obesity pills to the current Wegovy and stuff. You inject it once a week, and you lose a lot of weight. Now they have new pills where you have to take a pill every day, but they should be approved by the end of the year in trials or something, and that would be nice. However, I just saw another article saying something. This is why my doctor doesn't want me taking these things yet, because the problem is you have to keep taking it forever. As soon as you stop, all the weight comes back and all the benefits reverse. So that's an issue, but these pills are coming. Boy, when I listen to the Pivot podcast with Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway, they are just gangbusters on these things. They say everybody should be taking it. 70% of everybody's overweight. You should fix that right away by taking these. They say when we talk to professional medical doctors, 3/4 of them are taking it. And so they say the benefits are enormous, and you don't need to worry about side effects or anything because the side effects of being fat are really bad, and this is certainly better than being fat. Maybe that's true, but I remember 10 years ago, I said all the same thing about vaping. I said, vaping is obviously harmless. It's got to be lots better than smoking. All the smokers should vape. They should give them to everybody. They should let everybody have them. And then it turned out that a bunch of the vapes were incredibly toxic and destroyed your lungs because they added some strange ingredient to it. And so, whenever there's a new medical thing, everybody goes nuts saying this is the most wonderful thing in the world. And often, after a few years, they discover it's not so great. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not taking it yet, but I'm definitely a candidate. I'm overweight, and these pills would help me lose weight. And maybe I'll do that. But anyway, I'm not doing it yet. And this is pretty cute. It's amazing how altruistic librarians are. So what these guys did is nervous about asking. So on the wall, they told you how to find information on abuse, alcohol, cancer, child custody, eating disorders, AIDS, all kinds of important topics where you might very reasonably need to know something about this and go to the library. And this is very nice to help you find books about it and such. So I'm glad to see that. Of course, I suppose mostly people nowadays go on the internet and search for these, or God help them, ask ChatGPT, which I would not recommend. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people can't really do that because other people in their household will notice their internet history or something. So they might go to the library. Anyway, this is a good idea. And that's why librarians are nice altruistic people. That whenever the government announces like book bans and they want them to remove books, librarians always push back very fiercely saying, we are here to make information available to people, not to censor it. And they will refuse to honor the book bans and things like that. They have nice, simple altruistic principles, which is nice to see. So I heard about TruffleHog. Some criminals were using it to steal data from GitHub repositories, and I was not aware. I heard of it. I looked at it, found what it is. I probably need to write a project about this. TruffleHog is a scanning tool that will dig into your code repositories and find all kinds of secrets. So it sounds pretty charming, and the bad guys use it to steal secrets from repositories once they find an API key or some way to get in. But the good guys should use it to find out if your developers have accidentally included secrets, so it probably is a good idea to practice using it, and I'm planning to write a project about it. I haven't done that yet, though. So Amazon is putting up their own satellite network to provide internet service to compete with Starlink. And it used to be called Kuiper, but they've renamed it LEO for low Earth orbit. And now some people are using it. They have the first 100 or 200 satellites up there, and some enterprise-class people have a big antenna, and they say this offers the fastest download and upload speeds. So it gives you a download speed of 1 gig and an upload speed up to 400 megs, which is really fast for satellite connection. Anyway, and I've heard from people who work on this that it will have a consumer version and it will be cheaper and faster than Starlink. And if that's so, it'll probably be a big deal, but I guess it'll probably take another year or two for them to get enough satellites up there. I think Starlink has several thousand satellites, and these guys only have the first couple of hundred, so they have to launch more before they can really provide general service to the public and everybody. But it won't be long. And so a Campbell Soup executive was caught on a recording in what he thought was a private conversation, just saying terrible things about the product, saying, I'd never eat any of that stuff. It's made with horrible chicken. It's not any good. And it's just for stupid, poor people that are too stupid to eat this stuff. And, and so they fired him. I saw an article today. They fired him for getting caught just slamming his product and saying the product is garbage and the people who buy it are idiots, which is the kind of thing you're really not supposed to say when you're an executive at a corporation. All right. Anyway, that's enough of the news. Let me stop this.